is now in session.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, I'm sorry, Felicia. Do you have something you would like to say? No.
I played this exact character when I was like 9 all the time, and I don't. Sorry, I'm just picturing my 9-year-old self yelling at me, and it's really hard on me.
I can do Southern. I live here in the South.
We can do Southern.
Okay. Well, okay, so here's the problem. There's two ways I can go this. If I try to do like real like la-di-da Southern, I sound like a sex phone worker. So we'll do that, sure. Hi there, everybody, and welcome to our class today. I'd really like everybody to go ahead and open up their textbooks. And today we're going to go through the alphabet. Now, we've already done a couple days here, right? A's for apple pie. B's for banana pudding. C is for cheese grits.
What is this?
And now D.
Oh! I forgot what the episode. D is for doll. That's the book.
I can see now how insane that would have just sounded. You were like, "How is this connecting?" And
yeah, I was like, "Is she going to do the whole alphabet?"
I'm just making you say it for 20 fucking minutes. Hi, my name's Elaine, and I'm co-host.
I don't know how that intro is
going
to turn out in the edit. But just however it does turn out, listeners know it was much more confusing than it appeared on here.
Yeah, you know, who's to say if it'll even make more sense in the beginning? We went through many accents. There was some anecdotes from life in there. It's kind of everything you want quintessentially from
I forgot
Wonka
what
Watch,
the episode topic was.
which was kind of funny because it's all on you. This episode's all on you.
Okay.
It's all on you.
In my defense, my name's Felicia. Hi. In my defense, my name's
Felicia.
So, like, what did you expect?
I don't believe I asked for roll call.
We're very tired.
I'm super manic right now.
Welcome to Wonka Watch. It's a podcast where we talk about all things Wonka in the Wonka-verse. And, you know, I prep a lot for this podcast, and sometimes I go like really hard in prepping, and then I do too much at once, and then we don't touch on the things I prepped until months later. And no joke, I think I read this book in January, so I don't remember shit. So I'm going in as blind as Elaine, and it's kind of exciting. It's kind of freeing to not remember everything.
Welcome to my side of Wonka Watch. Isn't it fun?
I like going back because I'm like, when the fuck did I write that? I don't remember. So today we're going to be talking about D is for Doll, which is a 2005 fact book. The description reads, D is for Doll is an A to Z collection of facts, trivia, and zany details that bring Roald Dahl and his memorable characters to life. I will say, like, it is fucking crazy. Like, I learned a bunch of crazy shit from this book. A lot about Roald Dahl and his strange habits. Still no answers on what happened in Africa. Still concerned about that. I don't like seeking out information on Roald Dahl. But this book, I checked out everything I was able to about Charlie and the Chocolate Factory at my local library, and this was one of the last on the list. It was a slow day at work, and I just needed to do something to pass the time. So here we are.
Hey. Psst. Hey, Felicia.
Yeah?
Hey, can you pass this note to Becky?
I can pass it. I'm clinically unable to whisper, so.
Okay.
My mom genuinely once said to me, I've never known someone who is bad at whispering as you are. And I was like, all right. But yeah, I can pass it to Becky.
Okay. But then you never pass it to Becky and you just fucking read it. And what is it? Wonka Watch.
It's the Wonka Watch news. And Elaine, I think you're really going to enjoy today's episode because I got this in my inbox and I was like, this is funny, but can we make it Wonka? And then I realized, no, this is relevant. And I'm doing something a little different because at the end of this episode, I'm going to ask us to make a prediction. Not episode, this segment. I'm going to ask us to make a prediction that will go on our official prediction board.
Oh my.
Because you will see. It will make sense. But I got the headline in my inbox and I was like, God, we got to talk about this. It was from HuffPost. And it said, here's why Timothée Chalamet tweeted boner bone in the middle of the afternoon. What a headline. And I was like, I don't know if I can make this Wonka related. Because like, just because it's about Timothée Chalamet doesn't make it Wonka. You know, it doesn't really. But I realized we can extrapolate from this and talk about it. So basically, the teaser for his next movie with the guy who directed Call Me By Your Name, which is going to be called Bones and All, was released. And he did a bit of a Dern Flurf kind of style tweet about the whole thing. And for those unfamiliar, when I say Dern Flurf, this refers to the Dune tweet he did. I think the day of the premiere of Dune, that says Dune, 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 Dune 3, Dunny, Dooney, Dune, 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 Dunenator, Dern, Dern, Dun, Dern Flurf, Dern, Dune, Dune, Dune. So I was like, okay, so we're getting Dern Flurf Part 2. By the way, Bones and All is a movie he's going to be in. It keeps being described as a teen cannibal romance, whatever that means. So in the quote, this was like from their article, their summary of the movie, just for us to know, Bones and All centers on Marin and Lee as they meet and join for a 1,000-mile odyssey that takes them through the back roads, hidden passages, and trapdoors of Ronald Reagan's America. But despite their best efforts, all roads lead back to their terrifying past, and a final stand will determine whether their love can survive their otherness. This better not be a metaphor for the AIDS crisis.
Oh, God.
So, the new edition of this, before he tweeted out the trailer for Bones and All, which I kind of wonder, I'm not familiar with Mr. Chalamet's social media presence. I wonder if he really doesn't tweet and then realizes he has to make a promoted tweet and then feels weird about just tweeting another promoted thing, so then just kind of spits some shit out for a little bit.
I support that.
Which I'm like, I would do that, so I get it. But this was the new one. Soft Bones, posted at 4:01 p.m. Crunchy Bones, 4:07 p.m. Bony Bones, 4:10 p.m. Boner Bone, 4:13 p.m. And then he tweeted out to a link to the trailer. And I realized he's done this twice. He's probably going to do it for Wonka. So what do you think his tweets approaching the Wonka trailer will be?
Okay.
It's
Wonka.
hard.
Wonka.
Yeah, I think it's going to be variations.
Quo-wo.
I think we might get a Bonka.
Bonka.
Gonka.
Gonka.
Tonka.
Vonka Loompa.
Loomka.
Honk honk. Wah wah. Wonka.
He seems to play some sort of word association, so I wonder if we're going to get like Candy Cane, Candy Man, Candy Boner. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, chocolate is another option. Chocolate chips. Chocolate chunk.
Fudge mallow whipple dipple scrumptious funky. Ooh. You know, something crazy there.
Scrump dumple lunkle bunkus. You know what I mean? Like
that's
something like
one.
that.
That's the one. And we should trademark that right now.
I think there's a lot of options. I don't think we'll know for sure, but we threw out a good few options on what it could potentially be, what the tweets could be. I hope he surprises us. I think about Dern Flurf regularly. It's very funny to me.
Yeah.
So I just hope he keeps it going. So, you know, Timothy, if you're listening.
Hey, Timothy, we know. We
haven't done a good Timothy, if you're listening, joke in a bit.
Timmy, I hope you haven't felt left out.
I'm sorry we've been ignoring you, Timmy.
We're so sorry. I know, like,
it must be so hard for you because no one ever talks about you ever.
Right. We just want to let you know that, like, we're still going through this journey with you. And I know it's hard because you can't talk about your experience as in depth right now.
We've really had like we've had a whole like enemies to friendship arc with Timothy Chalamet without even talking to him.
You know, it could be fun. This podcast will go long enough. Will we dip back into enemies for a hot sec? You know, there's a chance. We're feisty over here.
See how the movie fucking releases. We'll see.
Dude, if that movie sucks, this podcast gets another 3 years of bitching. You know what I mean?
Like, so bad. The worst outcome for us is that this movie is mediocre.
That is the worst outcome. Because then, like, what was it all for?
Oh, just this mediocre mid-tier movie that got a 60% on Rotten Tomatoes. I want to either have a 10% or a fucking 100.
Yeah, that's it. All or nothing.
All right, let's talk about the book. I opened the intro tab I wrote here. I do not have much writing about this book. Like, normally I have a nice, fun segue read-in. I don't. I read this literally in January, so we're going to see what I wrote. I opened my intro tab, and it doesn't have an intro. It's just got some things in here. Nice. So the first thing in the book is A is for adenoids, because Roald Dahl's adenoids were sliced out by a doctor when he was 8. A perfectly painless procedure, you might think. Wrong, he was wide awake. In 1924, it was quite common for doctors to perform this without anesthetic. Ew. What is an adenoid?
I'm going to guess something tonsil related. I mean, I hope not. Maybe like a tooth.
Oh, yeah, it's like higher than the tonsils.
Oh no! But
It's like up by your nose.
No,
That sounds
my God,
awful.
And he was awake for that, and he just ripped him out like he was a fucking mummy, getting him bombed.
Yeah, and then we went for B is for Blabbermouth. This book kind of roasted Roald Dahl, if I remember. It said Roald Dahl loved secrets, but was terrible as keeping them. So it's like, okay. And then C is for chocolate. If you were invited to a dinner at Roald Dahl's home, at the end of the meal, you'd be offered a red plastic box, which we've seen images of this red plastic box. I know we've talked about this red plastic box, or have I just seen images of this red plastic box?
It's just you.
Okay. Sometimes I don't know what we talked about on the podcast, or I've just seen these things. I said, I'll tell Lane about that later, and then I haven't. So it contains all of Roald Dahl's favorite chocolates: Twix, Kit Kats, Rolos, Smarties, Flakes, and Maltesers. When he was an adult, he also used to buy fancy chocolates from a shop in London. So that's fun.
Oh, fun.
So now I open up random Roald Dahl facts. That's right, I forgot. So this was a segment in the book that was just like a little square that said random Roald fact. But the first, I grouped them all together, I guess. Again, January, I did this.
You were a different person.
So the first one I wrote on here that I put down was he once filled his ancient half-sister's fiance's pipe with goat droppings. That's the first random. That
sounds like
fact.
A weird like German sex tape. So this is not a children's book?
No, it is.
It's kind of brutal that they said she's ancient. Like,
no,
that was
his
not necessary.
Ancient half-sister's fiance. Ancient half-sister's fiance feels like too many variables.
Brutal. Yeah, that's a lot. But still being like ancient. That's fucking.
This book is judgmental.
Harsh. Jeez. With goat dropping. So he went out to like a field and pick up some goat shit?
They give you no context.
Oh my God, I have
random
so many more
Roald
questions.
fact: his soup had to be piping hot. He hated cold or lukewarm soup and would noisily complain about it to waiters.
You know what? That's, fair on the soup thing. Let's not be mean to our waiters.
Random Roald fact: he used to announce that meals were ready by shouting "nose bags on" or "grubs up."
Nose bags on.
Okay. So now we're moving into the actual alphabet of it all. Oh my God, I forgot there was a fucking quiz.
What?
All right. I think we might have figured out where the goat droppings came from. From Alma. She was the doll's pet goat who lived in the fields at their home. She once broke into Roald's writing hut and left him a present on the floor. And we're not talking chocolates or flowers, so that might be where the goat droppings came from.
I would like to also further discuss a writing hut.
Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about his writing hut. We're going to talk a lot about his writing hut.
Fuck yes. Okay, well, we love Alma the goat.
Bah! Roald Dahl's daughters brought home 2 lambs, and Roald and his wife had to merge them into a local farmer's herd without him noticing. What? Insane.
What?
A B is for bacon. Roald Dahl loved the smell of bacon sizzling in a frying pan, that he even had his own bacon slicer so that he could carve slices as thin as tissue paper. Beards.
Whoa.
Roald Dahl hated beards. He never grew one and couldn't see why a man would want to hide his face behind a beard. He came to the conclusion that beards were grown to conceal something dreadful in a person's personality. He thought that they were disgusting, dirty, and that they always had food caught up in them. Mr. Twit was one of the foulest and smelliest characters in all of Roald Dahl's books. And what did he have stuck to his face? A bristly, nail-brushy beard, of course.
You know what? He would have gotten along great with Peter the Great. You know that obscure Russian history, everybody, when Peter the Great wanted to westernize Russia, and so he ripped off by hand the beards of everyone in court if they didn't obey. You know that fact. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
So then there was B is for broccoli, Cubby Albert R. What? Okay.
What fuck?
So he's the part owner of the rights for the James Bond films. So he said his ancestors invented a curly green vegetable that they christened with their surname. Okay, they're talking a lot about broccoli here. That's not that relevant. But Cubby worked with Roald Dahl when he wrote the screenplay for You Only Live Twice. There's one big similarity between the plot of the film and the storyline of Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator. If you ever watch the film, keep your eyes peeled. And then I wrote, well, shoot, we're going to have to watch Only Live Twice now.
Oh my gosh.
With a little sad face.
Yeah.
So next, bullies. Roald Dahl hated bullies. So when his daughter Lucy and her friends were bullied at school by a girl named Lizzie, he came up with a plan. He wrote a rhyme and told Lucy to teach it to everyone except the bully. They learned the verse, and when Lizzie picked up the girl on the bus, everyone sang, "Why is Lizzie in the tizzy on the way to school? She makes a fuss up on the bus and acts just like a fool." Everyone except Lizzie cheered, chanted, clapped, and sang over and over again. Lizzie didn't pick on them again. So Roald Dahl was like, I hate bullies, so therefore we will bully you more.
Interesting.
Oh.
Interesting.
And then we get my next favorite recurring feature of the book, which is the safety warnings. Because Roald Dahl repeatedly does things that are generally unsafe, and they have to say, don't do this, after like half of the entries. So Buttercups. Roald Dahl's Norwegian grandfather was a naturalist and encouraged young Roald Dahl's interest in nature. Roald once ate the bulb of a buttercup and described it as frighteningly hot. Warning, do not try eating plants at home. It's very dangerous to eat anything growing in the wild. Always ask an adult.
What?
C. All right, Charlie in the ... Roald Dahl began writing a third story about Charlie Bucket, Charlie in the White House, but sadly, only... Oh my god, I forgot there was a snippet in here.
Is it sad that didn't get finished?
I do have the excerpt from the White House and Charlie Bucket, which I didn't expect. I forgot this was in here, and I can't believe we haven't talked about this already. So, the President of the United States was standing on the lawn of the White House. He was surrounded by all the most important people in the country. They were wearing their best clothes, and there was an air of tremendous excitement everywhere. The President himself was gazing anxiously at the sky. He was searching for the helicopter, which was due to arrive any minute. The helicopter, as everyone knew, was bringing to the White House as the 8 brave astronauts who only a few hours before had rescued an American spaceship when it was attacked by a swarm of vicious canids. I'm like bored. So standing on the lawn were the President of the United States, Lancelot R. Gilligrass, the most powerful man on Earth, the Vice President, Mrs. Tibbs, the Inner Cabinet, the super racist Inner Cabinet. Okay, I don't care about all this. Where's Charlie and Wonka? Mr. Porky, who was standing all by himself. There were lots of other famous, important people there, and there isn't room to mention them all. Okay, that was fucking nothing, Roald Dahl.
You sound like the internal monologue of an egg getting boiled.
What does that mean?
I don't know, but that's what it felt like.
Okay, next is Roald Dahl's chocolate hot takes.
Oh.
7 glorious years. Roald Dahl believed that the greatest chocolate bars and chocolates ever were invented during the 7 glorious years from 1930 to 1937. This was the time of the era of Black Magic Crunchies, Kit Kats, Maltesers, Mars Bars, Quality Street Rolos, and Smarties. And then Dead Ducks. The disasters of the chocolate world, in Roald Dahl's opinion, were the double-decker and the Cadbury cream eggs.
Really?
Cadbury
cream eggs. Not a fan.
Disasters.
Interesting.
Door handles. In the Roald Dahl Children's Gallery at the Buckinghamshire County Museum, the door handles are really hips. The handles are modeled on Roald Dahl's replacement hip. He used to use his metal hip to hook open his filing cabinet when he was sitting in the hut.
Whoa.
His first replacements had to be replaced.
No.
And he only slept for 3 or 4 hours a night.
No, I need to go back to the fucking... He used his metal ass hip to open a filing cabinet, and then the door handles are shaped after his hip, the way that Marie Antoinette's tea set was shaped like her fucking boob. What the I cannot grasp this right now. How does that he used his fake like what? I cannot. I am not okay over here.
We're gonna have to keep moving. We are on D and we have the whole alphabet to go through.
Jesus.
Roald Dahl had a very strict daily routine. He would eat breakfast in bed, open his mail. When ideas were flowing, he worked in his writing hut from 10:30 to 12 p.m. and from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. His typical lunch would be a gin and tonic, followed by Norwegian prawns with mayonnaise and lettuce and a Kit Kat for dessert. After a snooze and armed with a flask of tea, he returned to the hut to work. He would be back at the house at 6 o'clock on the dock, ready for his dinner.
Wow, I want to be on the Dahl diet. Gin and tonic for breakfast.
It was lunch. Gin and tonic Norwegian prawns with mayonnaise and lettuce.
Yummy.
Roald Dahl's writing hut was never dusted. Just like Willy Wonka's venting room, it was a top secret place. Roald wouldn't let anyone inside even to clean it, so it remained full of grime and spiderwebs, but sparkling with ideas. They're like really trying to dress up some of these facts.
I'm sorry. I don't know, man. That's
I skipped a few letters. I only picked out stuff that was interesting at this point.
Yes.
So under F, there was more of the like, please don't try this stuff at home. Because he was like kind of a menace, and they have to be like, do not sue us parents. Like, he would write things with weed killer on his lawn and pretend that fairies wrote it for his kids. They're like, this is a cute idea, but please don't do this. Gambling. As an adult, Roald Dahl was rather fond of gambling. Together with his friend Claude, he bred and trained racing greyhounds, yikes, which had a lucky streak for a while. Claude also taught Roald how to poach pheasants and tickle trout, yikes. Roald loved the card game Blackjack 2 and horse racing, yikes. His first job at Shell, he would place a bet on a horse, then sneak out of the office in the afternoon to buy a paper to see if he'd won, yikes. He never made his fortune from gambling. Wow, I could not talk during the end.
Gambling.
He never made his fortune from gambling.
Oh, God.
Games. Roald Dahl liked to play chess and Scrabble. He wasn't very good at Scrabble, though, because of his wonky spelling. If you had played with him, you might have smelled a rat, as he kept pulling the highest scoring titles from the bag. The answer? He had learned to feel the indentations on the high ones. So they're like, he's a gambler and a cheat.
What the fuck?
Roald Dahl wrote his book. Okay, here's finally the explanation of the hut. So Roald Dahl wrote his books in a white hut on the edge of the orchard at his house. It was an exact copy of the author Dylan Thomas's writing hut, which Roald once visited. He got his friend Wally Saunders to build it out of bricks with a yellow front door. It was very cozy with sheets of polystyrene lining the walls. All right. Okay. And a dangerous-looking overhead contraption to keep him warm. So they're saying it's a walking fire hazard. It stands exactly as he left it, with everything set up for writing. His cigarette ends are in the ashtray, and the wastebasket is almost full, as if he had just popped out for a bit. Inventions! If Roald Dahl wanted something that didn't exist, he didn't let this stop him. He simply invented it. He created gardening gadgets, made his own hot air balloons and kites, and developed medical cures and designed brain-bending games. His ambition was to invent a silent cigarette lighter so that he could smoke at night without waking his wife.
We need to go back to hot air balloon. What the fuck he made his own hot air balloon? Like, for humans? And also the silent lighter? Kudos. You know, I feel like maybe the smell might still do. Maybe, nose blind. I don't know. I just feel like there are other elements. He never
invented it. Luckily for his lungs, they said in the book. But this, I will say, I'm going to give it to Roald. Genuinely made some advancements in medicine that I did not know about. So after his son Theo was hurt in an accident, he researched ways to help his son and jointly invented a special valve to drain water from the brain that I'm pretty sure is still being used today. He and his neighbor also pioneered a type of therapy that helped his first wife make a full recovery from her strokes that is still used today by the National Stroke Association. Yeah, so here we go. I looked it up and did more research on the thing. Yeah, Roald Dahl became involved in the development of what would become known as the Wade-Dahl tilt, or WTT valve, a device to improve the shunt used to alleviate the condition. The valve was a collaboration between Dahl hydraulic engineer Stanley Wade and London's Great Ormond Street Hospital neurosurgeon Kenneth Till, and was used successfully on almost 3,000 children across the world. So, Roald Dahl, give it to you. That was good. That was a good one.
That was a good one.
But then he commits a crime that makes me realize why I don't like him. Roald's recipe for crunchy Jell-O. Make up some Jell-O, following the instructions on the side of the box. Watch the Jell-O as it sets. Are you still watching it? When it's almost ready, mix in a handful of cake decorating sprinkles. That's fine, but why'd you call it crunchy Jell-O? It's fucked up.
Crunchy Jell-O sounds terrifying. We're gonna have to do an episode where we make all of Dahl's favorite meals.
Don't worry, I have it prepared.
Fuck it. Oh god.
L is for loneliness. Lonely when he was an airman during the war. He also spent many lonely hours in the hut. As soon as he finished work for the day, he strolled up to the house where he was guaranteed to be surrounded by family and friends. Writing must be one of the loneliest careers of all. And then I in January wrote, bro, he did that to himself. So sad. He sits in his sad little hut on the edge of the woods. It's like he built the hut.
Yeah. Also, I mean, do we know for sure he actually felt lonely? Loneliness comes and it goes. But I mean, if you're writing, you're kind of in it sometimes. So again, like you said, he did it to himself. But also, are we just inferring a lot there?
Yeah. This is some lore we're getting here. Lewis, Roald Dahl's older half-brother, was his mentor. Lewis often took Roald for a spin on the back of his motorbike and taught him all about fishing. Roald might have caught the inventing bug from him. Lewis invented a wonderful boomerang-like toy called, guess what? A Skilly Wonka.
What?
It's like, wow.
What?
So Roald Dahl was given a Meccano set one Christmas, which is like an old robot set. And he immediately put his thinking cap on. He soon had the bright idea of making a machine that would drop a waterfall onto passers-by. So just real mischief maker.
Amazing.
He built it with great care and it worked splendidly, but his 2 lady victims were not amused, and the result was confiscated.
How old? How old was he when this happened?
The Meccano set, it seems like it was like a 70s thing, so
Amazing.
pretty not young.
Oh, that's good.
Matilda, this book would have been very different. In Roald Dahl's originally draft, the main character was a boy called Jimmy. Then he became
Jimmy.
Matilda, who was a wicked girl who died from exhaustion when she used her powers to lift a truck off a minibus. But then he liked the final version. Thank God, it was like the one good book you wrote.
God,
Olivana's. God, this is so fucked up. I forgot about this. This makes me want to... this was a treat Roald Dahl learned from his mother and used to make for his own children. You can enjoy it too. Mash up a banana with a few drops of olive oil. For some reason, the olive oil heightens the flavor of the banana and turns it into a delicious syrupy paste. If you're feeling very wicked, finish off your Olivana with a dollop of whipped cream.
Wicked? If you're feeling
Let's be bad when I put whipped cream in my Olivana. What?
I thought you were telling me like a secret character that was in Matilda when you said Olivana.
I know.
I wasn't fucking expecting that.
I did not remember that at all, and it's fucked up.
Now we're gonna have to fucking make that.
Ordinary. This is the thing, is like the book kind of contradicts itself. Roald Dahl always said it was a terrible mistake to meet writers you admired, for in the flesh they were bound to be very ordinary. He told his young fans that he was ordinary and said it was much better to imagine an unusual romantic figure with a red beard, dressed perhaps in a flowing green cloak, with magic in his fingers. Roald was never ordinary. It's like, no,
like
he
Santa?
is.
Father Christmas?
No, but they're saying by like that being his response that he's not ordinary. It's like, no, he is ordinary.
Yes.
He's just some guy. He's just some guy who puts fucking olive oil on his bananas, all right?
Like,
and plays pranks on women. Like, what are you talking about?
yeah.
Pea soup. At Roald Dahl's boarding school, older pupils were allowed to cook for themselves. Here's Roald Dahl's recipe for how not to cook pea soup. Number 1, place can on soup in front of the fire to heat. 2, leave there for far too long, preferably until the can is bulging. Hold an umbrella in front of you while piercing the can. Stand well back and watch boiling hot soup spread on the can all over the wall. Warning, under no circumstances should you try this yourself.
Oh, man. The man and his soups. We know he loves his soups.
All right, next one, the perfect murder. Roald Dahl's idea for the perfect murder was to bury an oyster in the garden until it went bad, and then serve it with 11 others to the intended victim. Terrible food poisoning would follow and result in death, a death that would be simply put down to one bad shellfish, never to be tried in real life.
What the literal O.J. Simpson shit? How did we learn that? What, did he write this in his journal where he wrote backwards in it? You know, what the fuck? Oyster. It's genius. I'll give him that. Agatha Christie would have, like, wig flow. You know what? But what?
Poaching! Roald Dahl's local butcher had a passion for poaching and told Roald how to hunt animals that lived on other people's land. Roald Dahl found the idea thrilling but never caught a pheasant himself, unlike Danny and his father. And his incredibly illegal research led to a best-selling children's book. Huh?
Oh, what? What book about poaching?
Apparently
and also,
Danny
I
and the
love that he
champion of
sucked
the
at
world.
poaching.
Skilly Wonka. When the film of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory was released in 1971, Roald Dahl received a letter from a Mr. Bill Wonka, who lived in Blue Hill, Nebraska, complaining that the author had stolen and used his name. Roald promptly replied that he'd actually gotten the name from the boomerang toy, Skilly Wonka. So, coming back full circle. Smarties. Roald Dahl adored Smarties chocolate candy, and so did his dog, Chopper. Chopper received 8 a day for and for after summer. Chocolate can be harmful for some dogs. Never give a dog chocolate without its owner's permission. And then I wrote, how the fuck did that dog live 16 years? How did it live 16 years?
This man's relationship with food and how he, like, uses it in all of his personal relationships.
Caution to the wind.
Wild. You've had his...
All right, number 2 is Stocky. This was the nickname given to Roald Dahl by the one and only Walt Disney when they briefly worked together in Hollywood. This was because Walt could not pronounce Roald's name, and also due to the fact that Roald was really tall and looked like a giant beanstalk.
Oh, God, I thought we were going like stalker route with Stocky. And I was like,
No.
he would stalk Walt Disney.
Sticky head. During an adventure holiday to Newfoundland when he was 17, mosquitoes annoyed Roald Dahl so much that he shaved his head and covered it in tar to stop them from biting him. Helpful non-sticky advice. Pharmacists now sell insect repellents that don't involve bob heads and goopy stuff.
I feel like that wasn't the next step for him. I feel like I don't even know if
There
we needed
has
to
to
reach
be
that
an
step. There
in-between
had to be
step.
something else. A hat.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I wasn't there, but like, there has to be a scale. But the man goes 100. We know this now. There was no dalliance.
Yeah, next one is sweets. Roald Dahl's glove compartment in his car was always full of sweets when he picked up his 2 eldest daughters and their friends from school. Sweets were given out to the person who told the best story on the journey home, so just light competition.
I love that. That is cute, except
That
the
is
candy
cute.
would probably get all fucked up. You know?
Yeah.
Love that car candy.
Taboo.
Ooh.
Roald Dahl risked the anger of critics with his fearless approach to writing. He was probably the first person to mention farting in a children's book.
Oh. He broke that barrier for us.
He also wanted his readers to do daring things and appreciated parents not to be overprotective. Roald thoroughly approved of children walking on walls and climbing trees. Teacher. Red-faced. Roald Dahl sent heaps of letters from schools, and in his replies he often chose to embarrass the teachers. His letters were always very friendly, beginning with something like, "Hello, Class 3 and your gorgeous teacher, Mrs. Smiley."
Whoa. Okay.
And then there was a poem that was sent to classes around the world. "Dear children far across the sea, how nice of you to write to me. I love to hear the things you say when you are miles and miles away. All children, and I think I'm right, are nicer when they're out of sight." Bitch.
Whoa. God, you know what? I would.
All right, tell me
love
how
to
you
do
really
that.
feel, Roald. Jesus.
Yeah, like, shit.
Toilet seat warmer extraordinaire. At Repton School, the younger pupils acted as servants for the older boys, but Roald Dahl was given a really odd job to do. He sat on the toilet in a chilly outhouse, making sure that the seat was warm and toasty enough for the house prefix bottom. P.S. Roald Dahl would never have used the word toilet. He would have said lavatory or WC.
That is
There's a lot of fucked up implications from that.
There is a lot. There's a lot there that they're not going to peel the layers back on.
Yeah, no, it's fucked. I mean, that's not Roald's fault.
Look,
That's
I
just
mean, like,
fucked.
will I leave a bathroom and if someone that I know is on the outside, I go, hey, I warmed it up for you. Maybe sometimes, okay? But I don't it's not a gift. This is so much, by the way. I just need to pause and say I'm having like sensory overload by all these fucking facts that I could not have guessed. These are thoughts I've never had before.
So this is an image of Roald's desk, like a dresser in his writing hood with a bunch of weird shit he had on it. Go through here. He had spine shavings, perhaps of his own. I don't know. Oh,
Like,
silver
from a
wrapper
bone?
ball. Yeah, no, we just got to move on. Silver wrapper ball, like a ball of wrappers. He has a Hurricane model plane. He has his own femur. Yeah, there's the metal hip. The giant ceramic aspirin is what's fucking with me, to be honest.
That's what's getting you. I'm looking at his fucking phone.
And I like that they labeled the pencil sharpener. Why did they label the pencil sharpener? They're like, Hurricane model plane, his own femur, and an electric pencil sharpener.
His own femur. And a spine shape. What the fuck is a spine? I hate this. Oh. School clothes brush. The fuck?
Vices. According to his wife, Roald Dahl's worst vice was smoking, and his second was smoking in bed. Last for W, waterproof. When he was a very small boy, Roald Dahl would lie in the bed worrying that his skin would develop a leak and he would fill up with water or even die. That actually terrifies me. That's fucking awful. When he discovered the truth, he marveled at his waterproof skin. That is actually, I actually think he gave me an irrational fear now. So
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Oh.
Wine, gums. Roald Dahl loved these candies, and as an adult, he kept a large jar of them by his bed in case he was hungry in the night.
man
The
fucking
next
loved
one
candy.
is witch balls.
Witch balls?
Roald Dahl's children had 50 different colored glass balls hanging from their bedroom ceilings. They were witch balls. Roald Dahl said if the witch came into the room, she would see her own reflection in the balls and flee at night at the sight of her own ugliness, never to return. When Ophelia
cute.
heard the wind howling in the trees at night, she always thought it was a witch wailing in anger after seeing her ghastly reflection in the balls.
That's cool. Why? I have more question about the ball.
I was about to
But
make a
witch
bad
balls?
joke.
Just tell it to me off.
Well, I mean, a witch wailing in anger after seeing her ghastly reflection in the balls. There's a lot
there's
of
a
joke.
lot
I
there.
don't think I need to elaborate. You know?
You don't. Fucking the Tin Man be like, anyway.
Thank you. Perfect.
Here we
That's
go.
great.
There we go.
You did the joke for me. Awesome.
We got
And now
there.
it's staying in.
Perfect.
Wine. Roald Dahl was fascinated by wine as a young man and started collecting it in the late 1940s when it wasn't very expensive to buy. So he built a cellar under his house that had over 4,000 bottles, and it was 55 degrees Fahrenheit year round, and he had a special wooden chute built for big deliveries. A wooden chute? How much wine are you getting, my guy? I just don't get wine, people. Like, how is that
4,000?
fun? It's like weird high-class Funko Pops. Like, what are you doing?
So
Writing board. Roald Dahl designed and made a writing board that suited him perfectly. It was a shape board covered with green baize, a type of felt material that he fixed at exactly the right angle for him to write on. It was the only thing in the hut that was cleaned regularly. He used an old clothes brush, so this is the school brush coming back, to sweep off the scraps of rubber that gathered after endless rubbings out of his penciled words.
I'm really glad we finished that sentence.
The scraps of rubber that gathered after endless rubbings out. Oh, God.
He loved that hut.
The rubbings would fall into the floor, which was never swept.
I hate that he never cleaned it. That's horrifying.
It's fucked up.
And it has his own bones in it.
Yeah, you have your own bones, and you're not like, let me give it a dust.
Gosh, love yourself, you know?
All right, it's time for the quiz. So a lot of these are from books you haven't read, which I think will be fun.
Oh, God. Yeah. We know I knew so much about Roald Dahl going into this. So this
All
should be
right. There's
easy
one
peasy.
for each letter of the alphabet, Elaine. A. What bits of Roald Dahl were removed by a doctor when he was 8 years old?
Oh, the Ampanoponedodes.
It's the andenoids, but close
Yeah.
enough. All right, what color is a witch's spit, Elaine?
Green?
It's blue. It started with B. The answers start with the letter.
Oh,
I should probably tell you that.
Oh.
Okay.
Yes, okay.
C. What gushed over Willy Wonka's waterfall? This is easy. This is a gimme.
Oh, chocolate.
Perfect. E. Roald Dahl once wrote a rather moving
E?
love story. Yeah, okay, sorry. D. What did Roald Dahl once hide in a jar of sweets?
Oh, a dead mouse.
Correct. Correct, Elaine.
Woo!
E. Roald once wrote a rather slow-moving love story. Can you guess the title?
Everlasting love.
No, it's ECO Trot, you fucking idiot. What's the name of the pale green fizzy drink that fills the BFG and Sophie with bubbles?
Sprite.
Frobscottle. Who does George feed his marvelous medicine to?
A squirrel.
His grandma. What was the doll's family boat called? It starts with an H.
Here she blows.
Nope, it was called the Hard Black Stinker. All right. What did Roald Dahl keep in 2 battered exercise books?
This is I. H-I.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait.
What did he keep in
Wait.
2?
Oh, okay. I scrolled down. I, for some reason, thought the answer was secrets.
Oh my god. Okay,
It's
so
not
what
that.
did he hold between? Can you read it again?
What did he keep in 2 battered exercise books? And the answer is not porno mags.
Damn. I am gonna go with a body part though. Fingernail clippings.
What about it starting with I? It's ideas.
Oh, sorry.
It's ideas.
Oh.
Who lived happily ever after in a stone house in New York City?
James.
James Henry Trotter. You're correct.
Hey.
What was the name of Roald Dahl's favorite toffee-like Norwegian treat?
Toffee like. Toffee. like. I mean, the only thing Kit Kats are not toffee like, but
It's also Norwegian.
well, like that helps me.
It's Crocan or Crocan. I don't know.
Kraken.
Which of Roald Dahl's daughters was bullied on the way to school?
Oh fuck. Elise or something like that. One of those girl
Lucy.
names. Lucy. I got
Which
an L. I'm
tiny
giving myself a half
creatures?
point.
This one's crazy.
Oh yeah,
For
can you
M.
remind me the alphabet? It's hard for me to do all the thinking.
We're
yeah.
on M. We're on M.
Okay.
Which tiny creature lived in the forest of sin? And it's not me. Min pins.
What the fuck?
What part of his body did
What is
Roald
it?
Dahl almost lose in a car accident? This is for N. This man was
N.
battered.
My God. Okay. You can't really lose the neck. Knee starts with a K. Nipple.
Nope, it was his nose.
That was my next guess.
Here's another easy one. Oh, who works in Willy Wonka's factory?
Oompa Loompas.
Yeah. It's like when we get to a Willy Wonka one, it's like too easy.
Well, I get stressed because, like, if I get that wrong,
all of
I'm
them
trying
are
to
so
redeem
specific.
myself. I'm not a stupid dum-dum. I'm just a
No, you're fine.
cool dum-dum.
What did Roald eat for lunch every day?
His gin and tonic fucking egg hole shit.
You're close. I mean, they wanted prawns specifically, but I will give that to you.
Okay, thank you.
Q. The BFG blows a dream into the bedroom of a very famous person. Whomst.
What letter?
Q.
Quincy Adams.
It was the queen.
Oh.
R. Which little fairy tale character was this? The small girl smiles. One eyelid flickers. She whips out a pistol from her knickers. Now that also sounds suspicious.
Raggedy Ann.
Maybe I'm too gay for this, but like I'm
That
picturing.
sounds suspicious.
Yeah,
No, that sounds suspicious. Is the answer
Alright.
Raggedy Ann?
It's Red Riding Hood. So who knew Red Riding
What?
Hood was strapped up and ready for action? S. Which ants were iron flat by the giant peach? We're looking for names beginning with S. Which ants were iron flat?
Okay.
AUNTS.
Okay, how many do I need
Two.
to guess?
2.
Susie and
They're not
Sarah.
they're words. They're not
Oh. Their names are just normal
are
words?
nouns. One
Okay.
yeah, they're both nouns.
Small and
That's an
stinky.
adjective.
Oh, nouns. God, you keep saying words. I was like, what does word mean? Sorry. Nouns.
I said nouns.
It just didn't like
Yeah.
okay, fine.
You're not gonna get 'em.
waffle and sugar.
It was Sponge and Spiker.
Wow, how did I not get that? How did I not think of those fucking words?
What did Roald often warm for a prefect at Repton?
A toilet seat in the water closet.
Yes! When he worked in London, Roald always made sure that he carried one particular thing with him. What was it?
Umbrella.
Yes! I looked at the answers and I was like, toilet seat? That's crazy.
That's what.
What are the most scary and dangerous aliens in the universe, according to Willy Wonka?
Vermicious canoe.
That's right, baby. All right, W. What does Mrs. Twit mix into her husband's spaghetti?
Walnuts.
Worms. It was worms,
Oh,
Elaine.
worms. Damn. That's brutal.
Lost Boys moment. What did the doctors use to photograph Roald's insides? X. They could not come up with something that started with X.
X-ray.
Yes.
Okay.
And they said in parentheses, well, you try to think of another answer that begins with X.
Okay, that's
Something.
hilarious.
Yeah.
I'll give him that. I like that.
Y. What was Roald's favorite color?
Yellow.
Yes. All right. And Z, last but not least, what invention did Roald really admire? Clue. It was better than buttons.
Zipper. I was going to
Yes.
say zipper. I could see
Wow.
that man just fucking loving a zipper.
It makes such a fun little noise. We eat, we eat, we eat.
He's like, I'm going to create a blanket that's only zippers. And just do that for hours in the hut.
He accidentally gets into the punk fashion because he's like, oh, babe, they just have so many zippers on their clothes. It's fascinating to me. Have you ever seen so many zippers on a single item of clothing? They're not even functional. It's amazing.
You know what's wild is I can put this black crayon around my eyes and keep going, and I just feel like a different person. Dark
Do you know
Doll.
who Sid Vicious is? Isn't that funny? Have you ever heard of The Clash?
You know, Never Shout Never really slaps. These gentlemen who keep tripping on themselves, Fall Out Boy. Crazy.
Don't you think when I put Weed Killer on the Ron, I'm having a bit of a chemical romance myself?
Oh my, I got tingles from that because it's poisonous. So that entire experience, was a lot. You were right. Those were all over the place. And it actually made me, I desperately hope in life no one ever makes an A to Z book about me. The one that hits me the most are obviously all the crazy food things, but mostly it's this hut that he never cleaned. No one ever got to go in there. And I cannot get over that his own fucking body parts are just fucking lying around. Was that inspiration? Did he pick his tooth with his femur? What's he do? What? I can't grasp that it was never cleaned. And they've left it uncleaned. They've left the cigarettes in the ashtray.
I'll be honest,
trash.
I get a little bit, like if I had to get like a finger amputated and they were like, do you want the bones? I'd be like, yeah, I guess. But I don't know if I just leave them on a table. Like I feel like I'd put them, like I'd do something with it.
I think we need to circle back on you would keep your own finger bone. Like I kind of get where you're coming from.
That doesn't weird you out? That weirds you out? I don't know.
Like, it does. No, the thing I'm cool with is like when I went to get a retainer as a child and I got a glow in the dark retainer, they let me keep the teeth mold and it would glow in the dark. You know, like that's fine.
They did the teeth mold thing for me too, but I got it done like last year and my dentist said, I thought you would want this. What a fun episode. What have we learned? Roald Dahl was a menace to society, but did have some surprisingly great medical advancements and kept his bones around for fun.
Yeah, that's...
I mean, I feel like that episode was kind of a fever dream. We had a lot to run through.
There were so many times you're like, no, we got to keep moving on. And I was like, I'm not emotionally prepared. But yeah, so that was
D is for Doll, the book.
If anything, that made all his books seem really tame. Like he's definitely held back, and his editor.
I didn't
also
know
was
he made a classic children's book about poaching, though.
Yeah, well, shocking that we haven't really heard about that one.
Yeah, it's a little concerning. It hasn't made me go, oh, maybe we've got Roald Dahl wrong. I respect his medical advancements, but didn't do much to change him in my eyes. For me, predictions. There will be a scene where someone is in a bathroom. That's my prediction. Oh, and a song will be inspired by ragtime music.
Oh, good.
I said that, but didn't institute it permanently. So I'm putting it in now.
Gotcha. Someone. Oh, there's going to be a horse. How have we not said that yet? There's going to be a horse.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to this episode of Wonka Watch. Was it fun? I hope so. If you want to email us, you can email us and give us feedback and suggestions.
Feedback only.
How was your user experience on the Wonka podcast today?
Would you recommend us on a scale of 1 to 5?
You can email us at wonkarapture@gmail.com. I don't think I even said the email.
Oh, perfect.
You can follow us on TikTok and Instagram at Wonka Watch. Oh wait, and there's one other thing we have to do, of course.
Tell me what.
We have a way you can support us if you go to buymeacoffee.com/WonkaWatch. And on there you can buy us a chocolate bar and support us. And if you do throw some little dollars our way, we will perform you a song of some kind. And
or
give you
do
a
some
shout
sort
out.
Of thing.
Yeah, I want to let you know 2 things about this. Number 1, if you want to read us to read your message out on the air, please let us know. Obviously, we have veto rights, but like, if you want it, let us know. I don't want to read people's messages unless they want them to be read. So just give us a heads up on that. And then number 2, if you donate to the podcast, we record about a week in advance, so it may be a few weeks before you actually hear it, us talking about it. But like, I promise, we did not miss you. We did not forget about you. So yeah, if you donate, it'll just take a little bit. But we have 2 donations this week, which is fucking crazy.
Oh my god!
Thank you guys so much.
Oh my gosh, I'm blushing.
But first, Phoebe donated. And
Phoebe.
How shall we do this? Phoebe.
Phoebe gives me like classical music vibes, like a little opera moment. You know?
Okay.
Phoebe, we thank you kindly for giving us some money. I'm sure you're a lovely person. You're probably a little unhinged because you listen to this. Our podcast would not last without your support. And so I say thank you kindly, dear old Phoebe.
Elena's so good at improvising songs.
Whoa.
It's like she goes into a fucking trance.
My eyes are watering because I left my body. And that was like,
I felt like I was watching a woman possessed.
I was. I don't remember what happened. My eyebrows are on the ceiling, you know? But we get to do another one.
All right, we have another one.
Phoebe.
Thanks, Phoebe. And this one's from Sarah.
Sarah. Ooh, is this like a dark jazz club at night? And ooh.
Should I pull out my bass guitar I always
Pull out
have
your
sitting
fucking
behind me?
bass guitar. Slap me some of those sweet notes. Oh, yeah. Yo, Sarah.
Do I remember the Muppet song? No, my headphones are messing
You
with
would know the little mumble song on the bass. I love it. Hey, do you want to take the Sarah one? I can give you the backbeat.
Sarah.
Sarah. Is it
Sarah.
Sarah with an H?
Let me go check my notes. Sarah. It's Sarah with an H.
That's an H.
Sarah, thank you for listening to the podcast. Have you ever seen that scene from the extremely goofy movie?
Goofy.
That's what I'm thinking about right now. That fancy little dog in the beret, the dog lady that's like weirdly human. And I've seen unfortunate posts about on Tumblr. I'm thinking about that scene with the banjo. Not the banjo, the bongos. And that's why I'm trying to cancel that channel right now to thank you.
Is this
for
really a
donating to the podcast?
They're like
I'm getting there.
Animated dog.
I'm not saying they're like an animated dog. I'm channeling the scene, Elaine. Thank you for listening to the podcast.
Sarah.
We really appreciate it. And thank you for throwing some spare dollars onto the bongos.
Sarah with an H.
Thank you so much, Sarah.
Thank you. Damn.
So when we say we'll do songs, we make no promises of quality.
Oh no, not at all.
So thank you everybody for listening. With all that said and done, A is for apple, B is for banana, C is for cat, D is for dog, E is for elephant, F is for Frank, G is for goober,
Oh God.
H is for help me, and I is for it's not that important.
It's not that important. Oh, I got stressed there. My hands got sweaty. I was like, please don't go all the way to Z. I know that's the energy right now.
I's gonna be way too long, but it's the only idea I can have as a segue, and it is kind of funny, so we'll go for it.
I enjoyed it.
It's not that important. D is for doll is not that important. Don't read it. I mean, read it if you want to.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you were intrigued, read it. But go for it. Go for it.
Don't be a little pretentious fuck. Go read it.
Jesus. All right, Roman Roy.
No offense to you.